ADESA, the auto auction company down by the MCI, Framingham Prison, seeks to lease space at the old CSX yard on Hollis Street. The building inspector who looked at the plan could not approve this new use for the CSX rail yard, as car storage is a prohibited use on the south side. CSX wants the plan to go forward as the rail yard is largely unused and generates no revenue for them. Before we look at ADESA's workaround to this problem, we first must examine why this use is prohibited. 5 years ago, Framingham's planning board revamped the zoning law to prohibit gas stations, auto repair shops, auto dealers, junkyards, and car storage businesses from operating on manufacturing land. The changes were aimed at reducing pollution on the south side, home to multiple seriously contaminated properties. For years, the south side was the dumping ground to the city of Framingham. The city would approve just about anything south of Waverly Street, and deny anything deemed ecologically negative to the north of Waverly Street. This revamped zoning would allow formerly active industrial zones to be more attractive by promoting their reuse to walkable and campus-style developments. When first proposed late in 2019, the application to the building commissioner was denied outright as a prohibited use by building inspector Michael Tassino. While many believe that a variance cannot be granted on a prohibited use, it does not block the ability to submit an application for appeal. CSX and ADESA are now doing just that by petitioning the Zoning Board of Appeals for a variance on the zoning. This is not the first time that a prohibited use as determined by the building commissioner has been taken to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a variance. On April 10 of 2019, the Zoning Board of Appeals granted a variance for Exceptional Auto Body and Repair to move its headquarters to land previously owned by General Chemical. The variance granted reversed the decision by the building commissioner, who concluded the city's bylaws prohibit new tow yards because their primary function is vehicle storage. Voting to approve this variance were board members Ottaviani, Craighead, and Meltzer. You'll want to remember that last one. Exceptional Auto Body had planned to use the property as the principal location for their towing company, which would establish an office, garage space for tow trucks, and an area for temporary vehicle storage. The tow business utilizes 40 trucks and serves Framingham and surrounding communities. It responds to calls from the police and fire departments to tow vehicles involved in crashes and arrests. Former City Councilor for District 8, Judy Grove, who at the time represented part of the South Side, along with other city councilors and with residents residing abutting the site, filed a suit against the city, the members of its Zoning Board of Appeal, and RML Realty, an entity owned by Robert Lopez, the owner of Exceptional Auto Body. Now 18 months later, Exceptional Auto Body, who purchased the land formerly owned by General Chemical, due to a court injunction, is unable to use his property in the manner that they envisioned. The cost to defend Exceptional Auto Body, the city, and its zoning board, are being paid for by each and every taxpayer. We all have skin in the game on this one. Had the zoning board held to the rules and denied the variance, in hindsight, this would have been the best practice. Circling back to ADESA and CSX, there is concern if this Exceptional Auto Body company was able to set a precedent of short-term automobile storage being allowed. Why couldn't CSX and ADESA claim the very same thing when this application for a variance first was brought to the Zoning Board of Appeals on August 19? Building Commissioner Michael Tassino made it very clear to the Zoning Board that the proposed use of the property is a prohibited use. The matter was discussed and continued to a later Zoning Board meeting. On September 9, this plan was discussed again, and once again former City Councilor Judy Grove stood up to protect the South Side.
The reason the bylaws were changed is that the city decided that the South Side had been used as a dumping ground for too long. There are too many bad uses down here, too many automobile uses. We need better uses. It is only fair to do that. And this property could be a solar field, a very good use for our community and for our environment. So I hope that you will listen to these arguments and think about what your role is as a ZBA members. You are there to protect the public. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Grove.
Hearing this new case is one of the people who voted to approve the tow yard for Exceptional Auto Body. Stephen Meltzer responded with zero care for the residents the prohibition of automotive use was meant to protect.
We don't represent groups. To the extent that we do that fairly to applicants as well as to the public good. So there isn't any one constituency that we represent over another.
It is not just the residents of Southside up in arms about this ADESA expansion. Many of the downtown business owners as well are concerned. The plan will bring 10 to 20 car carriers down Hollis Street daily, utilizing the mostly shut down CSX rail yard to store up to 600 vehicles for the ADESA auction to sell on their main facility off Irving Street. This increased traffic equates to hundreds of trips by loaded car carriers down Hollis Street, and is troublesome to business owners who already have reduced business because of the insane levels of downtown traffic that already exists. Courtney Tran of Downtown Framingham Incorporated wrote in an email to the city administration her concerns for the local businesses.
Adding 10 to 20 more daily car carriers to the downtown traffic mix directly conflicts with directives set forth in the city's 2015 Transit-Oriented Development Action Plan and the city's 2017 Bicycle and Pedestrian Plan. Per my discussions with DPW engineers, the weight of car carriers hauling 6 to 10 vehicles each greatly undermines the 2015 to 2016 roadway improvements along Route 126. The Route 126 traffic signaling system is complicated by the 42-foot length of each car carrier traveling along Route 126 from the Union Avenue intersection through the Irving Street intersection, especially with the addition of the trains moving east and west. Further, the condition of Hollis Street south of 160 Hollis Street begins to deteriorate, as witnessed by the many bicycle accidents near Avon Street at the CSX train crossing that remains unimproved despite ongoing improvement requests.
Thran's expertise on this matter show that allowing this ADESA expansion directly contradicts the plans for the city to enhance road safety for pedestrians and cyclists. Additionally, this plan will detrimentally affect the quality of the road surface in the area, costing taxpayers more for the additional maintenance, with little if any increased revenue for the city. This idea is just bad. This case will next be heard on October 14th, and a decision is possible at that time. The city wants us all to vote yes on Question 3, the Community Preservation Act, which will allow funds to be collected by taxpayers to be handed to the state, who matches a portion of the money and redistributes it to municipalities who are participating in the Community Preservation Act. This money can be used to preserve historic buildings, to save green space from development, to build recreational facilities, or to build low-income housing. The City Council and the Mayor are asking us to vote yes on this ballot initiative, all the while the South Side is shit upon, with further ugliness, further pollution, and the lack of care. The Community Preservation Act will not benefit Southside. Vote no on Question 3.